Good Monday morning, start of a new week. Good to see everybody here. We'll wait for just a minute for some people to come in, get notifications. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a really good weekend here. Beautiful sunshine, going to go into higher temperatures. It's actually going to be summer now. So it's been kind of winterish here in California because everything has just remained kind of chilly, but that's not the case anymore. So, all right. So let's see here if we have Cloud Hub loaded. Yes. Okay. So we are loaded up here, ready to go. I see that we're on. I see that we're on in other places too. So let me go ahead and get started. And if you have any questions, you can just go ahead and put those up on the screen and can answer them as we go. Now, I just want to give a little disclaimer, as I always do. This is my health and wellness journey. This is what I've been on since September of last year. I am not a doctor or any other healthcare professional. I am a licensed psychotherapist in the state of California, former practicing attorney. But what I'm telling you here is not advice. It's not medical advice. Hey, Mike Smith, is this Susan Knowles? It sure is. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Hey, how are you? Renee? Yep, you caught me. You did. You did. All right. So back to what I was saying. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional, but I'm giving you what has worked for me and what I'm doing to help myself. I wanted to share with you what I'm doing and some of the things that you may want to do. As I always say, go ahead, consult your physician, right? If that's what you want to do, ask your physician, is this right for you? Whatever we talk about, whatever it is that you come up with, do your research, talk to a doctor, and then make your own decisions. That's what I do. Oftentimes, I know, long time no see, Mike. Oftentimes, I don't listen to my doctor, and after reading some things last night, I'm glad that I haven't always listened to my doctor because they're not always right. So I want to talk to you about some of those things as well. Now, um, today we're going to be talking about inflammation because I know that inflammation is a problem for a lot of people. So we want to talk about what causes it, what we can do about it, and go from there. It's one of those things as a lot of times even it's not even an age thing, but after a while, as you get older, you get a lot of inflammation in your body. Like you can't move as well as you used to, or your joints aren't as limber as they used to be, things of that nature. So we want to sort of discuss a little bit why that is so and some things that you might be able to do about it. Now let me try to get some things up here on the screen and share them with you. So give me a sec. I'm kind of rusty at this because I've been out of doing this for a while, as you know. Getting back into it and getting all the things right, it's going to take me a moment. Take me a quick second. All right, now I don't know if you can see this. Let me turn off. University that practices medicine. So these are the doctors, right? And it's telling you that, when it's good. And when it's bad, it's really bad. So in looking at this, what are some of the causes of the inflammation? Yeah. Oops, no sound. I'm not sure why. Does everybody else have sound? There should be sound. So I'm thinking that everybody else may have sound. Maybe Renee go out and come back in. Let me know if you don't have sound. That will help me to know whether or not people are hearing this. Let me go over to, let me see here if Cloud Hub, are you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it may be you, Renee. So check and see. Okay, good. Hey, puzzles. 5 by 5. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm back. I didn't go anywhere. I think, Renee, it may have been your connection, perhaps, because it was going at other places as well. All right, so let me look at these things and say what causes inflammation in the body. Okay, one of the things, and that's in the article I just showed you, it talks about obesity and its constant companion, type 2 diabetes, are in epidemic proportions in this country, according to the Vanderbilt article. One thing that connects them is inflammation. All right. So, but fat cells can produce cytokines too, and as fat tissue grows, it attracts inflammatory cells. The burden of obesity also crushes fat cells to death, and that makes the problem worse as inflammatory cells move in to clean up the debris. Now, as many of you know, I've gone on this weight journey, and I have lost 25 pounds. So my own personal opinion is that it really matters in regards to your weight. I think weight has a lot to do with the issues. Being overweight has a lot to do with just about every single issue that we may encounter in our bodies. Um, it says normally the forces of inflammation are held in delicate balance, but obesity tilts it in favor of the inflammatory cytokines. And I guess, one of the things too is that we're learning, and I'm learning, especially as I'm doing more and more research, is that your body, God knew how to make our bodies and He knew how to give us what we needed. And it wasn't really, in most cases, take this medication, pile it on top. It was something we already knew, something He had already put into our bodies to fight different things. And I think, the more weight that we gain, the more damage it does to those things that God already made, and were working well until we started eating things that, probably a lot of processed food and garbage. Um, I think back about some of the things that I used to eat, and to me, I'm looking at it now going, how did I even find that tasty? Why did I even like that? I have no idea. For example, if I love pizza. I just love pizza. I love bread. I love cheese, and I used to love the tomato sauce. I don't eat pizzas like that anymore. Now my pizzas are, instead of the red sauce that are typically on pizzas, I will have olive oil instead. There'll be olive oil. There'll be spinach. There'll be onions and um, olives and artichokes and little tomatoes, and some mozzarella cheese and some feta. And it's so much more healthy for you than a regular cheese that you go and get at a pizza place that is loaded with fats, loaded with all those things that you probably not good for you. So that's just my 2 cents worth. And in fact, yesterday, what I did, if you've been following me for a while, I've given you some recipes, and if you haven't gotten those recipes, you'll want to go back and get them. One of them is the ginger and turmeric shots that you'll find in some past videos that I've done. Also, I make some tandoori bread, which is really good bread. It has ingredients that it's Mediterranean, right? Mediterranean based. And the ingredients are flour. You can have wheat flour if you want, whatever you feel is better for you. A tiny bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and milk. Hey, Sue Harrison, how are you? So it's really healthy for you in the sense that you can kind of change it a little bit to fit more of what you need and what you're looking for in your lifestyle and your diet and whatever you're on. I am on the Mediterranean food plan, which I have found is so healthy, so good for you. My doctor did recommend that one, and I really like it. And I think, to be honest with you, a lot of what helps you on that food plan is the olive oil that is included in your meals, and we can talk about a bit more about that later. Now, some of the things that they say causes the inflammation in your body, according to that Vanderbilt article, is cholesterol. And we have heard so much, as you know, about LDL being the bad cholesterol, and you want to lower that in your body. It's so horrible for you. Um, and it says that it's considered, it contributes to fatty builds up in your arteries and arteriosclerosis, and this narrows the arteries and increases the risk. And the HDL is good, and the triglycerides are, you know, may not be so good for you. Well, let me just tell you something. Hey, Helen, how are you? I got a book yesterday and I started reading it. And the reason I started reading it is because I saw a doctor that he's one of the front line doctors, and he seems to be more open to looking at things. And the frontline doctors, as you know, are the ones that came out against the, let's just say, quote unquote, medication that was mandated for a lot of people. So he's one of those who said, don't get that medication, right? So I like what he has to say. I started reading that book yesterday. I'm about 20 pages into it because I got it late in the evening. And let me tell you something. As soon as I get more information, I'm going to come back and share it with you. But one of the things that I want to tell you right away is that that book talks about how we've been lied to about cholesterol levels, about LDLs, about what they are, about what the impact they have on the body, and on and on and on, and how this is not true. It's another lie that we've been told, just like the lie about you need to get this or you're not going to survive. So, again, the information here about the LDLs cause. Hey, Gary. Yeah, Gary's like, I'm putting on my sunglasses for this. Um, the information here that talks about cholesterol levels, I'm not even knowing right now if it's true. I don't know if the cholesterol causes the inflammation in the body. So I'm going to sort of disagree with Vanderbilt on that one until I do further research and really look into what all of this is, what cholesterol is, what it really does to our body. Is LDL really bad? Is HDL really good? What is all of those two? What are they really? This book blowing my mind. And I remember last night just being so upset that it's looking like that we were once again lied to. And there was even a study that was done back in the 1970s that was hidden for 40 some years until 2016 to say, hey, everything that you thought was true about this, it's not true. Okay, again, I know I'm kind of making you wait, but I want to make sure that I read this book, get my facts straight, and I'll tell you what I have found. Okay, now some of the things are, what kind of foods can cause the inflammation in your body. Let me give you an article here that I found about those things. And at this point, we're going to assume that what we're reading is true. So let me bring this one up for you. This is that it says there are 5 types of foods that cause inflammation. Helen said, can't wait to hear more about the book as I'm struggling with inflammation. Helen, just stick with me, and I'm telling you, you're going to be shocked. Okay, what are some of the foods that can actually cause inflammation? This article, which was written by the Methodist, HoustonMethodist.org, another medical organization, they say that there are 5 types of foods that can cause inflammation. It says inflammation is part of the body's natural defense against things that adversely affect health, like bacteria, viruses, and toxins. But your immune system is complicated, and its components are sometimes triggered by unexpected things, including certain foods. Getting on to hear what foods cause inflammation, according to this article, red meat and processed meats, including bacon, hot dogs, lunch meats, and cured meats. Refined grains, including white bread, white rice, pasta, and breakfast cereals. Snack foods, including chips, cookies, crackers, and pastries, sodas and other sweetened drinks, and fried foods. And it makes sense, right? I mean, I don't think you have to be a doctor or a rocket scientist to look at that and go, most of that stuff is basically just crap for your system that you're just throwing in. And how could it be good? It just saying those, reading those off. I'm sitting there going, my gosh, how many calories is that? How bad is that for you? Processed foods and processed meats, we already know about that. It's just like we talked about last week. We talked about um, the decaf coffee. All right. This is not on cholesterol or anything else, but look at what goes into decaf coffee, right? All of these chemicals that process the coffees. And, it could also be that some of these same chemicals, not for the processing of the coffee, but can go into processing the beans. So in regular coffee, I don't know, you could be getting some of those same chemicals. Excuse me. One second. Sorry, coughing. One sec. I'll try to talk through this. With everything heating up, my allergies are kicking up. So I apologize with the little coughing session. Anyway, back to what I was trying to say is that, with the chemicals, the pesticides and things that we get is in almost everything that we eat, in our air, everything. So when you're looking for, even for coffee, you have to be careful when I'm looking for decaf coffee now, because that's what I drink. Um, Thank you, Sue. Sue says, bless you. Thank you. Um, with my decaf coffee, I get organic decaf that is water processed. Like you heard about the Swiss water processing. You want to make sure that the chemicals used in the process are not there, pesticides aren't there, and everything else. I mean, everything really that we're putting into our body, we have to watch. Even stuff, whether it causes inflammation or not, there are things that we should not put into our body. Pesticides is one of them. Now there's another link that I found for what's in your food and what's bad. Let me get this up here for you. Okay, here we go. And this is from, let me see, taking a second to load. It's from the gooddoctor.com. All right, here we go. It's finally loading. And this is 7 foods that cause inflammation. Let me just get this off the screen here. And the 7 foods, again, refined grains, refined sugar, sodium, red and processed meat, trans fats, ultra processed foods, and alcoholic beverages. So again, another source is talking about how bad the foods are that we put in our body on a daily basis, the foods we think that we're getting that are good for us. And can you imagine if you put on top of that, when you go and you eat out at a restaurant or you get takeout or whatever, you're getting tons, tons of butter and things of that nature. I mean, reason that the foods taste so good in a restaurant is because they load it with butter. If you've ever watched any of the cooking shows in a restaurant, you will see that they will let's say put meat in a pan to make a nice steak for you, and they will just load it up with butter. So depending upon what's in your butter, you could be getting a lot of things that are causing inflammation. So we have to really be careful again about what we do. So, how do inflammatory foods affect the body in the long run? A diet that consistently includes inflammatory foods can harm the body's cells and organs. Chronic inflammation can contribute to, and this is again from the article, insulin resistance diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, certain types of cancer, and neurological diseases. And it seems, I don't know about you, but it seems to me that the more we learn today about how our food is made, about what they're trying to do to foods, the things they put in our foods, they're just not healthy. I mean, you can read these articles and you can see that if it's causing inflammation, what else are that's in our food? What else is it causing? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Um, so, what are a few things that you can do then to reduce inflammation? One of the things that they suggest in this article that I just showed you is that you can have a diet that's anti inflammatory. Well, what is that? Well, it is the Mediterranean diet plan or the Mediterranean food plan, the one that I'm doing. Known for its variety of health benefits, the Mediterranean diet is rich in fruits and vegetables, uh, lean protein, nuts, whole grains, olive oil. And I'm going to say from what I have been reading in the book that I got yesterday, olive oil does a lot of things that some medications that doctors want to give you can do. So, right, it's making the same effect on your body. That's what I'm reading. Okay, so it does not surprise me that the Mediterranean diet, because it does have olive oil, and a lot of these dishes have a lot of olive oil in it, pretty good amount. Um, that it can help your system. Sue says, "Yeah, look what Bill Gates wants us to eat, fake food." Oh, can you, Sue? I mean, can you even imagine how bad that fake food is for you? I mean, I can't even imagine. I don't even know if I want to do research on it because my everything in me screams out that it's going to be horrible. Um, and the article goes on to say, while dairy, fish, and red wine are also common in this diet, they are consumed in moderation. So you can have that with the Mediterranean food plan, but again, everything in moderation. Meanwhile, red and processed meats are rarely consumed. Um, to be honest with you, I don't have much red meat anymore at all. Hey, Debbie, because I just find it is just, once I've been sort of cleansing my body, if you will, of things that I used to eat that were so bad for me that I didn't maybe even know. I just don't want things that are heavy or things that could clog, things down. I just don't. And that's just me. It's not to say that you couldn't or shouldn't eat red meat. I look at things probably a little differently than other people. I look at things of, let's go back to the times in the Bible. People were eating meat. They were eating red meat. They were eating different things. They were eating olives. They were drinking wine. They were eating this, that, and the other. Some of those basic things I think are still good for us. And I think if we still ate that way without putting all the chemicals and the processes and all this other stuff in the food, we wouldn't have a problem. But the truth of the matter is that when you're getting this red meat, you're not getting just red meat unless it's grass fed. You're getting all kinds of crap that they put into, the cows and, who's ever eating the meat, right? The cows are eating the meat is what you get from. They're feeding them things. Sometimes they're feeding them antibiotics, other things, growth enhancing things that just cannot be good for humans, in my opinion. you know. Again, not a doctor, but I'm looking at that going, there's no way that that would be good for you. So if you're going to eat red meat, you might want to look into the grass-fed only meats. All right. So also in that article said simple dietary swaps to help lower chronic inflammation, have more whole grains, lean into lean proteins. It says have a cup of tea, dish up desserts. They say consider taking a smaller portion size of your favorite dessert and pair it with some fruit. I mean, that's kind of common sense. And don't have a lot of things that are just slattered with butter. I mean, I gave you, I believe, last week a recipe for a bundt cake that was made with olive oil. Didn't have the milk and didn't have the butter and didn't have other things. It substituted olive oil and it was absolutely delicious. It wasn't dense. It was very light. It tasted great and it was healthier for you. Now, am I going to sit there and eat the whole cake? No, because that would be crazy. Um, the calories would be horrendous and it would be bad for you. But all in all, if you have a small piece of that cake and give yourself a dessert, maybe that you don't normally have or whatever, it's great. I mean, you want to live. You don't want to feel like that you're doing something where you have to always be watching everything that you eat, not enjoying yourself, uh, not living life the way you should or at its fullest. You don't want to have that kind of thing either. So, um, but it was very good cake. So another thing you could use to simple dietary swaps, use coconut sugar instead of, let's say, regular sugar. Dates, bananas, honey, maple syrup. Let's see. Renee said grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Some ranchers feed their cows grain to fatten them up before slaughter. I know. I mean, you have to really know what's going in to the beef that you're eating before before it even got to you. And it's so hard. It's getting harder and harder. You don't know also what the government is requiring of some of these ranchers. What are they telling them they have to do? Are they telling them they need to give their cattle shots, right? Different shots that maybe they didn't get before? What kind of shots are they? Are they the same ones that were mandated before? Is it something new? Is it something that might be harmful to humans? I don't know. That's why a lot of people recommend that you find a rancher, a local rancher that believes in grass-fed organic stuff and try to get your meats and your vegetables and everything else from that particular ranch or farm. So again, it can be a lot of work, and you may have to order things, or again try to find somebody locally where you can eat as well as you can. Now, can you ever? Are you ever going to find something where it's perfect? Probably not, unless you do it yourself, and that's difficult to do. Right? It's not probably not going to happen. So we have to do the best that we can. That's all we can do. Now, it also says incorporate vegetables where you can. I think eating vegetables is important. It kind of gives you that balance, right? We learned about balancing your foods when we were in elementary school. Your meats, your vegetables, your different things, your breads, all that. It's a balance. It's moderation. It's not going to Subway or any In and Out burgers or whatever that we know, walking in there, logically that that food is not going to be good for your body, for your weight, for your heart, for this, that, and the other. I mean, we already know that. We don't need, to read articles. We kind of know this stuff, right? So diet isn't the only contributor to inflammation. To help reduce pulmonary inflammation, try to engage in healthy lifestyle habits. Manage stress, okay? And we'll talk more about stress at a later time. uh, Managing stress is so important. It impacts your body and things inside your body and your health. We logically, again, we know that, but do we do anything about it? For me, I walk about 2 miles a day and do a rebounder for about 15 to 20 minutes after I come back from my walk. Over the weekend, we walked 4 miles on Saturday, continuous 4 miles. It burns a lot of calories. You take a lot of steps, and it is healthy for you. If if it's something, if you don't have other health conditions where you can't exercise, if you have other health conditions that prevent you from, let's say, walking or running or doing other things, from what I am understanding, is movement is so important. You got to keep your body moving, right? If you just sit in a chair or sit in one spot all day long, yes, stress elevates cortisol levels. Exactly, Renee. But if you sit and you don't ever move, it's not helping your body, it's not helping your system, not helping your heart, circulatory system, none of that. So you have to move, and maybe ask your doctor or talk with somebody, a physical therapist. What can you do even in your chair that will keep you moving and keep your body going? Um, Aiming for about 30 minutes of moderate physical exercise 5 days a week. I exercise probably 7 days a week. Different times I'll do a little bit more or less. I want to keep moving. I want to go. Like on a Saturday or a Sunday, I want to walk. I don't want to sit by. Debbie said the problem for most people is that it takes a financial toll when they have to make decisions with all these better to us meat and vegetables, such as organic and grass fed, cost more. Absolutely. Absolutely, Debbie. And the thing that I think that you have to do, yeah, but we have to do the best we can. I think what you can do though is sometimes, and I see this with a lot of people, they say, I can't afford organic, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But a lot of times these are the same people that are buying the desserts, right, at the store, getting cakes, getting pies, getting things that are horrible for you. The same people that are maybe going to Starbucks all week are the same people that might be buying alcohol. So I'm not saying that everybody's doing that or that everybody's in that same position. But what I'm saying is, if you want to try to eat better, then I think sit down and take a look at what it is that you're eating and what you might be able to substitute out and substitute the organic in, right? And do little by little and do, like, again, as best as you can. Now, some of the things I'm finding out, for example, too, that there are a lot of fruits and vegetables that are sprayed with pesticide. We all know this, right? And we're told just wash it off and go ahead and eat it. It'll be fine. Well, I'm finding out that's not necessarily true. There are some vegetables that where the pesticides don't come off. It's systemic. It's already in the plant. It's already in the tree. It's not going to be washed away. Two of those things, that I eat, right? One is apples, and the other, I have blueberries every day, and sometimes an apple every day. So what I've done is, I have gone into getting organic blueberries and organic apples. And I was shocked when I went to the store the other day that the organic apples were actually cheaper than the regular apples. So you have to kind of look around. And again, I don't drink sodas. I don't remember the last time I even had a soda. It's probably been well over a year. As you know, I do drink kombucha. I make my own kombucha. It's very inexpensive when you make your own kombucha. It has a lot of good health benefits. So I drink that and water and decaf organic coffee. And that's all I basically have. So I don't buy those things, and the things that I don't buy that I used to buy, like sodas, I now spend that money towards buying organic fruit when I can. Not all the time, but when I can, that's what I'm going to do. And I have cut out so much of the things that I used to think I needed, I used to think were so important, and they were expensive. Those buying sodas is expensive. So again, if you look and see what you're eating, what you're drinking, is there anything that you can get rid of? If you're drinking coffee, can you stop drinking coffee? Or can you cut down on your coffee? There's a lot of things that we can do. And not everybody can do that, but when you can, uh, do it. That's all I say. Just do it. Let's see. Debbie said, I have organic wild frozen blueberries every day. Yum. I bought organic apples yesterday. They were $1 each. Wow. Um, Yeah, I mean, again, I think they're just things that if we really sit and look at it, write things down, we can see that there are some adjustments that we can make when we think things are way too expensive for us, and we'll get things that are far better for us, and you'll be healthier. Um, Now, one of the things that you can do is limit your exposure to pollution. Yeah, that's hard, that's difficult, but if you can, then you do that. Getting adequate restful sleep, which means about 7 to 9 hours a night for adults. I wish that were true for me. I don't remember the last time that I've slept through a night without at least waking up maybe once. Limiting or avoiding alcohol if possible. I drink zero alcohol, none, zilch, zada. I don't know how good or bad alcohol is. A lot of people say wine is great for you. That's again, that's something for me. I don't have to buy. I don't buy alcohol at all, so I can use any money that I would have spent on alcohol towards buying better food. It says here according to the article, the bottom line: processed meat, added sugar, and refined grains are considered inflammatory foods. Chronic inflammation can damage your body's tissues and organs and lead to health issues like heart disease and diabetes. Eating a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can help you reduce your risk of inflammation and chronic disease. Um, so, again, we'll talk about managing stress. I'll do some of the things that I do for managing stress and some of the issues that I've had in the past when I let stress sort of get the better hand, but we'll save that for another time. Now, one of the things that I know that people do for inflammation is they use essential oils. There are two that I'm familiar with. One I used and one I have not. It's inflammation that hurts you, not cholesterol. Debbie said, and yeah, I'm pretty much getting to the point. I agree with you, Debbie. I was just saying before you came in, and I was reading a book, a new book that I have that just blows the water out of cholesterol and all the things that we thought about cholesterol and the things that our medical profession has known about forever, but they're not telling you the truth. I know that's shocking, but anyway, we'll get to that at another time. Now, one of the things that I've been using for inflammation to try it, I have never been a big person, a big believer in essential oils. I know there are people who swear by them. So I was kind of skeptical, right? This is ginger and it's from Revive and it's revive.com. This is 100% pure essential oil. It is not the leading essential oil. I think doTERRA may be, whatever. This is less expensive and supposed to be as good, if not better. Can you name the book and the author? Renee said. Renee, I wanted to kind of wait until after I've read it, and then I'll tell you about it, and you can get the book and all that other stuff. And it shouldn't be too much longer, but yeah, I will do that. Okay, so ginger. Now, I have been using ginger. I have some inflammation in a finger of mine, probably because it's too much texting and typing and holding an Apple pencil and things of that nature. I bought this. I started using it. This bottle is a 30 milliliter. It was, I believe, $34. It will last a long time. This, I believe, is what, an ounce or so, or I don't know. It's very small, but it'll last a long time because you don't put tons and tons on it. You just put like a drop or so, a little bit on whatever body part that you have, right? Okay, so this is, you don't take this. This isn't something that goes under your tongue. This is actually what goes on the outside of your body, from what I understand. That's what the way I've been using it. So I have this one finger that has started to have a lot of inflammation. I started using it just about a week ago. I have noticed some improvement, I will have to say, and the pain that I had has gone down. Will it be a permanent fix? I'm guessing no, but I have no way of knowing that. But I'm guessing no, that it may just temporarily ease the pain of inflammation. And so the other things that I have to do is look at the roots of things and where it came from. What can I do? Is there anything that I can do, to lessen that inflammation from the inside out? But this is, great for the outside in. Now, a lot of people swear by frankincense. They say that that is something that they know reduces the pain. I have never used it. I don't know, but I'm putting it out there to you. And I also want to let you know that I have ordered a product that I have not received yet. I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to see the difference between the ginger and the new product that I'm getting and see if there's any difference. You can take ginger orally for inflammation too. Yeah, I know you can, Renee. I just mean I don't know about this bottle, whether or not this can be taken orally. Um, this one is for the skin because it says possible sensitivity, keep out of reach of children, blah blah blah. So it doesn't. This is not, as far as I know, not to be taken orally. This particular bottle that I have here. Yes, I know. And in fact, Renee, I have a ginger shot with turmeric every day. I have given my recipe to that. I love that. I also take curcumin, which has turmeric in it, anti-inflammatory things. So, and I love ginger. If I could bottle ginger, but I love ginger. Ginger is so good for just about everything. Yeah, only if it's food grade. I just want people to know that this is for your body, not to be taken, this particular one. So, but I will let you know as soon as I get the other product, and I'll be using that and let you know whether or not that one works. Again, I've heard some really good things about it. I've heard reviews about it saying that it's good. I want to test it myself, see how it works for me, and then if it does work, great. I'll let you know. If it doesn't work, I'll let you know that too. So that should be a little, maybe a couple of weeks on down the road there. I want to give it some time also when I get it to make sure that I've given it enough time to see if it's actually going to work. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me before we go? Again, trying to make these short. I just want to give you some informative information. Sorry about the coughing with my allergies. Maybe I better look into that with my allergies. But so hopefully that didn't disrupt too much. All right. So it doesn't look like that we have any questions. I'm not seeing any on Clout Hub as well. So I guess I've answered just about all of the questions as I was talking. So hopefully that got everything answered for everybody. Let's see, Debbie, also getting natural deodorant like aluminum free and fluoride toothpaste free. Yeah, I use Piper Y, Piperwai. It is a charcoal based deodorant, has no aluminum in it at all. I've been using that for years. I absolutely love that product. Talked about it before. It is it's so great. And those people, even the people who sweat, seem to not have, any odor caused by it or anything else. So I quit using that a long time ago. I heard so many bad things about the aluminum based deodorants that they may cause breast cancer. Don't know if that's true. But I didn't want to, for me, I didn't want to take any chances. My mother had breast cancer. My mother, in fact, died of breast cancer. What was the cause of her death? And so, I try to do as many things as I can that would prevent me from, ever getting it or the possibility. So Piper Y, Piperwai, that you can get online, piperY.com if you want to check it out. Again, it's charcoal based and I absolutely love it. Renee said, thanks, Susan. Great info. God bless you. God bless you too, Renee. So if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and I will probably be back again next week. Will be the soonest, and we'll talk further about another topic that I hope is of interest to you. And until then, thank you, Debbie. Thank you for being here, and God bless you. And we'll see you again next week. Take care.